Christmas is still in 16 days, but Riot has decided to take over the role of Santa this year and bring us a Christmas miracle. What's going on, ProGuides fam? It's your host Royal G, and after over half a year of waiting, we finally have some good news about Yoru's upcoming rework. From some updates on his abilities and some comments from the devs on the direction of Yoru's rework, as well as a roadmap for when he's coming out, let's just say there's a good amount of stuff to cover. So if you're a Yoru enthusiast, you definitely don't want to miss this. And also, you definitely don't want to miss out on some high quality coaching from our Radiant and Immortal level coaches at ProGuides.com. If you want to start the next year off with some crisp aim and rock solid fundamentals, you gotta click the link in the description and come check us out. Anyways, let's get into it. When Yoru first came out, we were all super hyped to see an outplay character come into the roster that could totally shake up an enemy team and play them like fools. That was sort of in line with how the devs wanted to approach his design, but I think we also realized very quickly that Yoru as a character didn't bring much to the team, and relied too strongly on outplays to succeed. And at the same time, his abilities as a whole were not very useful by themselves, which meant that every time you wanted to make a play, you had to have some combo of abilities to even have a chance to outplay the enemy. And if those conditions weren't met, Yoru just didn't have much face value. Well, the devs agreed. And in the recent State of the Agents address, the devs said, "We've learned that in addition to our duelists needing to offer something unique to the field, they also need to have a strong baseline value that any team at any round can rely on in order to maintain strong viability on any team composition." More or less, the way Yoru was designed had a lot of ideas for outplays, but forgot about designing his abilities to be decent by themselves. His footsteps, for example, were basically useless from round to round, since they didn't create much pressure unless you already had a read on the enemy's playstyle. Another thing is that his flash, while pretty good, is usually better for supporting teammates than going in for himself, which says a lot about his viability as a duelist. So based on that statement, it's pretty evident what the devs need to do first when trying to make him better as an agent, which is to bring his baseline value up. To do this, the devs have shared with us two changes that they have in mind, one for his footsteps and the other for his gate crash. Okay, so basically, what they decided to do with Yoru's footsteps is to up its power level by upgrading it from footsteps to a full-on decoy that explodes when shot. So I'm guessing that means it might activate off running into sentinel utility like trips and alarm bots, but it's not confirmed or anything. This honestly could be a great change for Yoru, since one of his biggest weaknesses has been that his footsteps were basically useless from round to round. If there's a decoy body instead, then not only is there a whole lot more value in his fake out ability, there's more outplay potential as well, since there's more ways to give fake information and cause chaos. Not only that, the quote-unquote debuff that they receive upon shooting it might be huge as well, because there's actual punishment for being tricked. It doesn't have to be a full stun or anything like that. It would be interesting to see where the devs go from here. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this change, and I think this could bring some much needed value to his kit. The other change that the devs talked about in this address was a change to Gate Crash, or his signature teleport ability. So what they said was that they'd lower the range at which enemies can see and hear the tether while it travels, and they also increased the travel speed by 20%. Also, they added a function to fake a teleport as well, which I think is going to be huge for his kit. Here's a video that they linked to show the Gate Crash work in progress. So basically, his Gate Crash definitely has some nice buffs to it now that can make it a lot more valuable for giving fake information or creating mind games. In that regard, Yoru seems to be getting a buff at all fronts, from his ability's baseline value to his outplay potential as well. Also, the devs noted that they're thinking of a way to buff his ultimate as well, but they didn't share any info on what their plan is for that yet, so we'll have to see what happens. Which leads me to the question of the day. What are your thoughts on the current proposed changes? None of these are final, but they're quite thought-provoking and could open up a lot of different options for Yoru. Let me know what you think in the comments below. While I'm all for the changes that they just mentioned, I'm also slightly skeptical about whether this change will be the changes we needed for Yoru. Don't get me wrong, I'm all about seeing Yoru succeed in game, but a part of me also remembers the good old days in Overwatch when Genji and Tracer ran the show hands down every single game. What the devs for Overwatch had wrong at that time was that they wanted to balance Genji and Tracer to have the same face value as other heroes in the game. And that made it so that a good Genji or Tracer could totally carry a team with how hard it was to play against them and how easily they could outplay enemies as a result. Hopefully, Yoru doesn't end up in that pool where he's just super strong at a baseline while also having the outplay tools he has. But hey, I think Valorant devs have been historically really good on not making agents too oppressive, apart from their one mistake in creating Jett. Jett is just too overpowered. So in regards to when Yoru's rework is actually coming live, the devs only said that it's coming sometime early next year, but not before another State of the Agents address comes along. So basically, we're going to get more info on the Yoru rework in the coming months, and then the release will happen after that. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty hyped for this, and I can't wait to see what the devs have cooked up for us. With that being said, let us know what you think, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. It's been Royal G, and good luck on the grind.